皆様、GISHW3 日目のプログラムにお越しいただき誠にありがとうございます。Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming out to GISHW 2025. それではただいまよりシンポジウム東京科学大学を開始いたします。座長でいらっしゃいます大島洋一先生、どうぞよろしくお願いいたします。Next, we start the symposium at the Institute of Science Tokyo. The chair is Dr. Yoichi Oshima. Dr. Oshima, would you please start?
Thank you for your explanation. Welcome to the Science Tokyo's our symposiums. Today we have actually we need 5 panelists, but one is now. Oh, okay. Now we have already set. Okay. So we have 5 speakers from the global, and we are talking about innovation ecosystem, especially for global innovation ecosystem. And each of the panelists will be introduced after our first the movies. So could you start the movies?
これからの未来、さまざまな社会課題に人々の幸せに、科学はどれぐらい貢献できるだろう。その答えはこの場所でみんなで作る。科学の進歩と人々の幸せとサイエンス東京。
Thank you. This is our concept movie about University Castle Town. And we like to talk about innovation ecosystem, and our concept is University Castle Town. So today, we are very glad to be here to talk about innovation ecosystem. And especially, we are going on to the University Castle Town concept. So we like to share this kind of the concept with global panelists and talk about that each of the region has their own system. So we like to talk about what is the difference and how we can develop our innovation ecosystem much better. And let me start from my personal introduction. I have started my business career as a semiconductor memory chip designers. And after that, I became a patent examiner in Japanese patent office. So I lived in the invention field, not the innovation field. But in the invention field, I made a lot of the patents, but it's very hard to realize social situations. So I am very interested in how to make a real world in the inventions. So I jumped into the innovation field. So innovation field, I feel that university is a good place because many of the ideas are coming from the university, and probably it's a very bridge areas between the company and new ideas. So this kind of the experience make me now vice president of the industrial academia relationships. And probably our university has not well known at this moment because we have just merged last October Tokyo Institute of Technology and Tokyo Medical and Dentist Universities. It was new babies for the university. And we are Institute of Science Tokyo. This is a new names. And we abbreviate Science Tokyo. So please remember our university. Next, please. Okay, right now let's start on the University Castle Town. Before that, we have a castle town in the traditional Japanese context. Do you know the samurai and the shogun? A shogun is a samurai's leader, built a castle, and to protect shogun, the living in near here, the samurai. And of course, there are merchandise and the farmers provide groceries. So this is a way to make a town in the Japanese old age. And in 20th century, we have evolved that castle town becomes a factory castle town. It means once final product has decided, like automobile, then the component makers coming together to make a city. So it's a very efficient way for the mass productions. And we have very succeeded in this style of the new mega town. And one of the examples is the Toyota City. But in 21st century, we have struggled because we need to know that the final applications, what will be the next applications. At this moment, our academia thought we can contribute to provide new ideas, and the startups make a prototyping, and finally a large company decided to make a mass production. So this type of the new way is to make a new town, and we call the University Castle Town. And before the COVID-19, this is the first ideas we came from, and we believe that we can make a University Castle Town in our campuses, near campuses. So this is a University Castle Town 1.0, and this is a picture of our image. But during the COVID-19, we learned we can work remotely if we have a strong relationship before the making a network. So we started make a university networking with another area, especially Hokkaido and Kyushu. It's a very long distance from Tokyo. And this is very worked. During this period, we learned that the one thing we have that doesn't have in the local city, we can make complementary networks. For example, in Tokyo, it's very hard to find a space. We need a space for the experiment, but it's hard to find it. But in local university, they have enough space. They offer you can use everything you want. But for them, there is a very huge opportunity to demonstrate their technologies, their new technology thesis. But we have large customers, so we can bring them to the local university then they made good promotion opportunities. So this kind of relation worked very well. So we moved on to the University Castle Town 2.0. But at this moment, we have just started in the domestic areas. But someday, why don't you stop in the domestic area? Let's move on to the abroad. Then we move on to the University Castle Town 3.0. So now we are connecting to the international universities. And especially academia is very easy to communicate because we are not profit organizations. We are non-profit organizations. So we can share new ideas. So today we have a lot of the global positions. They are very working on their own regional ecosystems. But probably we can connect to the internationally, then we would like to realize this University Castle Town 3.0. Okay. So this is a summary I talked about. That we are very good local network, and then move on to the global network. And probably university can provide it a knowledge nexus enabling urban innovation, we believe. So this is my presentations. Now, let's move on to the position talk for each of the panelists. Okay? So let's start from the, okay, let's move and skip. You can skip that seat, and let's show the panelist's name. Panelist. Oh, let's see the panelist's name on the screen. Oh, okay. So, Kondo-sensei, please make your presentation first.
Here, from here. May I? Yeah, okay.
Oh, you can come here.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Nobu Kono. I'm representing Japan Innovation Network. And probably, we're supposed to show our panelists' name first, but they probably not. So I'd like to start my own the position talk. There. Okay, for the sake of time, I'd like to spend maybe 7-10 minutes to illustrate what is the global innovation ecosystem, which is the topic of today. And what I'd like to do is to draw our kind of a backdrop of the topic so that panelists can talk and discuss. Next, please. I won't explain each verse, but what I like to do is to inspire your thoughts around ecosystem. Ecosystem is now one of the hottest topics in management and innovation, because as Oshima Sensei explained, the world is changing. Like this event, GISHW, they are not competing. They're sharing their ideas, they're trying to connect, create ecosystem, because only one company or one-to-one open innovation, etc., isn't enough. So now we have to collaborate, not only manufacturer of the product or services, but users, institutions, etc., all create one ecosystem to create a value. That's why the ecosystem is now very important, especially for innovation. So you don't explain this one, but we need platforms, value providers, the users, and, well, specifically actors, trigger product services, all connected to each other independently, interdependently, to create ecosystem. Next, please. So when we talk about ecosystem, there are a couple of layers, multi-levels. One is national levels. I think that here we have Switzerland and Finland, and they have very sophisticated national level innovation ecosystem. Also, there's a regional, like University Castletown, one of the probably regional level ecosystems, and of course, corporate level. But in each level, through those levels, universities are good catalyst to create and connect ecosystem, as you see. Next, please. For national level ecosystems, probably the Atsumi-san, Matsuda-san, and others will talk about national level ecosystems, but we know that the countries like Sweden, Finland, Singapore have developed very sophisticated and strong national level ecosystem which drives the economies, which drives competitiveness. Just not for competition, but also try to solve social problems. So why national level ecosystem is important is that while solving social challenges and then make it into economic competitiveness, which is not so easy for one companies. Next, please. And for regional innovation districts, it's very hot, like University Castletown, but you know the word, innovation districts. It is reported that over 150 innovation districts worldwide, and now we're transforming the urban areas, vitalize or revitalize or regenerate the regions as economic engines. First of all, I have just visited a couple of the innovation districts. One of them is Knowledge Quarter in the central London, or St. Pancras and the stations around them. Companies' headquarters like Alphabet, Meta, and so on, and one of the largest medical institutions in Europe, and of course, British Library. Like University Castletown, they connected the ecosystem of innovation to drive London's and UK's economy. And you can see many things like this in US, the other part of Europe, and so on. So innovation districts is a keyword. And University Castle is one of them, I suppose. Next, please. And of course, corporate level benefits. If you enter into, or you create, either you create or you join ecosystems, which will give you a stronger growth, high efficient ROI, and so on, so that the companies are rushing into the building and the creating our ecosystems worldwide. Next, please. So, together with these levels, there's AI-driven innovation, of course, the ecosystem strategies and the startups all create and drive global innovation ecosystem. Next, please. And also, this kind of big picture is changing our way of innovation. Just quickly, we are in the third generation of innovation systems, ecosystems. First era is one-man hero ecosystem. Like Masayoshi-san, those big hero creates ecosystem by his own, Next stage is incubator accelerator, where you can see many scenes like startups make pitches and the venture capitalists listen to it and try to invest. This is kind of our now a bit old style of innovation ecosystems. Now we are in a systemic innovation era where all the players, stakeholders and regions, institutions, all work together to create regional or national level growth and prosperity. That's a new era, this third generation. Next, please. And for this third generation, the concept of a bar is very important. Bar is a Japanese word for place, but this is not a space like this, but the bar is the mutual relationship with the people, communities, groups, and teams, where we can share our thoughts and ideas within a certain context, which will drive your knowledge creation. That's a very important concept of a Japanese idea of a bar. The bar makes the innovation ecosystems richer and stronger. So if you are interested in this concept of bar, please dig into these, one of my papers to the concept of a bar for innovation. Next, please. So University Castletown is a big bar. Now, for Japanese companies, you know the word called JTC, Japanese traditional companies, which is surviving so-so, but they all stand alone, not collaborate. They used to collaborate in the Keiretsu, but now they are rather independent players. So it is said that this kind of attitude of Japanese companies are silo tendencies is the cause of insufficiency and low productivity of Japan. So this is the ecosystem is the key to solve these problems. So key success factors for innovation ecosystem is purpose first, clear vision and strategy, and diverse participants, and effective governance, and continuous learning. For this event today is also like, if they have clear vision to save, many people, and they bring the diverse participants, and if you have effective governance and organization, you will successfully make innovation ecosystem. So we are experiencing this today. And this approach to ecosystem will dig into potential of Japan's opportunity. So what we're trying to do is filling the gap for the future. Next, please. So I will conclude with this page. At this moment, we and the Institute of Tokyo Science are running a pilot program called IM Lab, which we collaborate and broaden the idea of innovation ecosystem through the industry. So if you're interested, there's a kind of booth, the Institute of Tokyo booth, where they can share some ideas on this IM Lab. But we are gathering experts on ecosystems and strategies, and they test some programs. Okay, next please. So IM Lab is based on the key ideas. As you know, international standard for innovation management system is now published. So we are using as a base, and we are trying to make a consortium type program and to redefine the functions of universities, not just Institute of Tokyo Science. Thank you very much. And the floor is for the panelists. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So let's move on the position talk. So, Professor Kimura?
Yes. Shall I start?
Yeah.
Standing here.
Oh, over there. Okay, would you start?
Hi. So first, Thank you, Oshima Sensei and Kon Sensei. It's my great honor to be here today. So I'm Eiichiro Kimura, Professor, Department of Innovation Science, Institute of Science, Tokyo. In the university, I'm teaching about cutting-edge open innovation, and my three peers are innovation management in the VUCA era, and open innovation and ecosystem building, which is the main topics today. And the third one is the implementation of well-being value creation. I created the word of shokuba, as Kono Sensei mentioned. And long-term relationship with Professor Henry Chesbrough at UC Berkeley, as you know, who is the propagated the concept of open innovation in 2003. And I'm proud to show my company logo among the world excellent companies such as Google, Intel, or Cisco, or FedEx, or something like that. So please click the. So I believe in Science Tokyo is one of the top open innovation academic players in Japan. The next slide, please. So as an example of open innovation project, I'd like to introduce the Digital Food Platform Initiative, or DFP, which we are trying leading in these years. So I'd like to skip the detail, but because of the major impact from environmental and sustainability issue and technological innovation, and the personalized or complex consumers' needs, Japanese food system is needed for change to connect many players, whole through the value created from the producer side to consumer side. Okay, next, please. So in order to build a digital food platform and establishing a new business model, so Science Tokyo is building an innovation ecosystem from producers to consumers, which cannot be addressed by a single company or a single industry alone. So we invited not only the food industry, but the IT or finance or supply chain of large entities and startups and government and local government. Science Tokyo is leading establish an ecosystem as an ecosystem builder in this area. And I hope DFP could be like a food valley in Netherlands. And I hope I'd like to discuss more about the important role of academia, which can be work as ecosystem builder. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your informative presentation. So next speaker is Mr. Matsuda, please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Toshi Matsuda. I'm head of investment promotion of the Swiss Business Hub in Switzerland Embassy in Japan. So we are mostly promoting Japanese large-scale companies' open innovation with the Swiss startups and Swiss research institutions, and also Japanese companies' business establishments in Switzerland. I'm here to discuss about Swiss open innovation platform with the Japanese potential companies here. So for Japanese, Switzerland, the image of Switzerland is what? Is maybe most famous one is Haiti, because of the most famous Japanese animation, and maybe cheese, and also chocolate, but recently also Nespresso coffee. But Switzerland is also famous for the innovation. And several statistics, like WEF, World Economic Forum, which is organizer of the Davos conference, and also UN research institutions, Switzerland is listed as the global #1 most innovative country in the world. Switzerland used to be a very poor country, but because of the education system, also inviting excellent foreigners, overseas researchers, engineers, so they try to change. They try to raise the technology level to the top of the world. And now we are promoting 6 innovation parks here, and each and each innovation parks has a characteristic. The first one is ETH Zurich, which is the core research center of the Innovation Park Zurich is ETH Zurich. In Japanese, we say Renpo Koukanayaku Churihiko. And this is the, in this university, famous Albert Einstein taught philosophy, taught here. So here, the research for the robotics, AI, rocket, mobility are very, very famous here. And here, which is the center of the watchmaking. So precision manufacturing and battery and those kind of related to the watchmaking is very popular. And here is the city called Basel, where the #1 and the #3 pharma companies like Roche and Novartis are located here. So, needless to say, this is the center of life science. And this city is called Lausanne, which is one of the biggest city in the western part of Switzerland. Here is also famous for the robotics and AI and drones. But at the same time, there is the headquarters of Nestle here. So this is also a center of the Food Valley. Swiss version of a Food and the Nutrition Valley is located here. So today I'm interested in discussing about the Dutch Food Valley, about the European food ecosystem. Next, please. So these are universities that I mentioned, beforehand. This is the ETH Zurich, #1 in European, #1 technical university in European continent, and #1 technical university in the French part of Switzerland. So here, there's lots of excellent students is gathered around from Europe, not only Europe, from around the world. Next, please. So these are famous startups from this ETH Zurich. Next, please. These are also drones. And as you know, a drone, Chinese drone, DJI is taking global standard. But in Switzerland, the drone has very specific functions. As you see, this drone has a cage. So that drone can fly between humans, and also this drone can fly without GPS. So this drone is used for the testing, like in a tunnel or in a stockyard, together with a human. So Switzerland, the drones is like a very special focused drone is very popular. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So next speaker, Mr. Atsumi, please.
Okay, my name is Eiji Atsumi, working for Business Finland, which is a Finnish government organization responsible for trade and investment promotion between Japan and Finland. Next, please. Let me talk about Finland from innovation perspective. Firstly, about demographics. The area size of Finland is close to Japan, but the population-wise, less than 5% compared to Japan. So please remember that Finland has a very small population and sparsely populated country. To overcome this small population and sparsely populated countries, Finland makes a lot of efforts. Firstly, try to be as good member as possible in the EU, member of EU and use euro as a currency, and also have joined NATO, for instance. And also try to build as good relationship as possible with other countries. And to be innovative and stay wealthy, Finland invests a lot to develop and sustain good business environment, like good corporate governance and use of digital quite actively, and also make the country system quite stable and high ranked in innovation index. And key enablers are quite a reliable and a competitive infrastructure, including education. Next, please. The Finland's innovation and technology ecosystem is considered one of the best in the world. And the secrets are like the sustaining legacy from Nokia mobile phones. A Nokia mobile phone crashed like 20 years ago, but the talent has started new businesses, attracted foreign companies' innovation centers in Finland, and also moved to other traditional sectors and contributed to the transformation of traditional industries. And the uniqueness of Finnish innovation ecosystem is the closeness between academia and industries. These both parties are very closely working and also quite working equally. Some of the university is talking about university as a service concept, where university is not necessarily the center of innovation, but a supporter or a catalyst of innovations. So in that concept, for example, innovation hub is placed in the center of the campus, and companies and entrepreneurs are the stars, and universities and traditional companies support to facilitate the innovations. And also public sectors like government organizations are quite supportive to the industries. And together with the industries, Finland is trying to increase the R&D investment to the 4% of GDP by 2030. Next, please. And Finland tried to focus its limited resources to solve global challenges and try to play a key role in solving global challenges. As I said, Finland is a small country, and it cannot solve all the problems by itself, but try to solve the key problems together with friendly countries like Japan and other countries, and to play a key role or niche important role in key global challenges. Next, please. Finland prioritized 4 sectors. And firstly, ICT and digitalization, and secondly, health, and thirdly, clean tech or green energy, and lastly, bio and circular economy. As I said, Finland is a small country and cannot solve the key problems by itself, but at the same time, investing a lot to build a competitive, innovation-friendly environment. So we welcome Japanese and international companies to come and invest in Finland and to best utilize the Finnish innovation ecosystem together. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. So next speaker is Mr. Magnus, please.
Yes, good morning. Time for another snowy picture from the Nordics. I represent Business Sweden, and I've been asked to talk just a few minutes about Sweden's life science innovation ecosystem and how we connect it to Japan. Quite a lot of what I will say will apply for other sectors outside life science, but I work almost inclusively in life science, so I will focus on that sector. Next slide, please.
1 minute ね。
Just a few words about our organization, Business Sweden. We are a semi-governmental, semi-private organization. We have locations in over 50 different places around the world. And our main purposes are to support Swedish businesses to grow internationally, but also to support international businesses to enter and expand in Sweden. Next slide, please. So when it comes to life science innovation, this relates a lot back to the Castletown concept. Sweden has 5 innovation clusters in life science, and the most well-known are the Stockholm-Uppsala one, the Gothenburg one, and the Lund in the south of Sweden. And what these clusters have in common is that they have grown around a medical university, in some cases also other universities. But also each of these clusters also have a number of other important organizations. So for instance, in Stockholm, there's the national government, there are a number of different universities. There's the ministries, there's the government, there's the financial sector that provides a lot of the funding for the innovation activities. Also, there are some big legacy medical companies in these regions. For instance, in Stockholm has the Swedish headquarters of the Anglo-Swedish company AstraZeneca, and that still has a big manufacturing site there. Also, Uppsala was one of the main sites for Pharmacia, which is now part of Pfizer. Göteborg has a big R&D site of AstraZeneca. Also similar, Lund has a big, had a big R&D site of another big pharma company. So what happens in these clusters is that a lot of the universities produce new IP, and many of them result in spin-offs to new companies. And Sweden has a very beneficial legal framework where people who do innovation at the university can get the rights to them. They can profit from them. They can create their company and make money from the innovation that they created at the hospital, at the university hospital or at the university, which is quite unique. Now, if we go to next slide, and here I'll talk a little bit of why the innovation ecosystems in the life science sector has been successful in Sweden, because I think it's fair to say that it's successful. Only earlier this week, the European Innovation Scoreboard produced their annual report, which ranked Sweden on top of innovation in Europe. The ranking goes back and forth year to year, but typically Sweden ranks pretty high in these rankings. And Sweden is a very stable, low-risk location, both for establishing big companies, but also for private individuals who do innovation. It's a culture that has a high acceptance rates of failures. Keep in mind that because most innovations that become startups, most of the startups will not be success stories. The majority of the startups will be failures. And this is, in some countries, this is not really accepted, but I think in Sweden it's fairly well accepted. And I often work with innovators in Sweden that have gone through several different startups. Some of them may have failed, others may have succeeded, and they've continued on setting up new startups. So the innovation ecosystems that we're talking about, they host these serial entrepreneurs that do many different startups, many innovations in their lifetime. And I'll talk just a little bit more about the soft factors that make successful innovation ecosystems in Sweden. Sweden also has a very strong social infrastructure. Let's say that your startup fails, and there's always a social network to fall back on in Japan, in Sweden. There's also a high degree of trust and openness and equality in the culture, which means that people starting new companies can interact with big companies, with government sector, with university, on a playing field, so to say. In other countries, including Japan, it's quite often that new companies are seen as vendors. They are kind of a little down in the pyramid and are not quite seen as equals. And that's not always the case in Sweden. There's also a strong link between industry, academia, government, and startups. Access to capital is also important. Sweden's government spends quite a lot on innovation and research, but that's not enough. There's also a fairly well-developed venture capital industry in Sweden, one of the biggest in Europe. There's also a stock exchange where very small companies can list. So often when I talk to Japanese companies and investors, I ask them about if they can work with listed companies in Sweden. And then their image about the listed companies, generally speaking, a large company that is well established. But in Sweden, quite a lot of the listed companies are startups. They're companies with just a few people working that may outsource a big part of their operations. But the stock markets are, at least some of them are structured in a way that are open also to small companies. Also, Sweden is a small domestic market. Our population is 11 million, so just a tenth out of Japan. And that means that we need to look overseas for partners at an early stage. Next slide, please. So I work a lot trying to connect Swedish innovation, Nordic innovation with companies and investors in Japan. We do this in different forms. We've done something we call the Nordic Health Summit in Japan. We just completed this year's edition in June. It's an annual partnering investor and business development conference in Tokyo, where we invite Nordic startups, so not just only Swedish startups in the healthcare and life science sector, to meet with Japanese companies and investors through matchmaking meetings. So each year we have around 100 matchmaking meetings, and we're planning for the next session in April or May next year, and we're looking for partners to power this and to recruit more Nordic startups and reach out further to Japanese companies and investors that I think are in strong need of external innovation. And from that point of view, Swedish startups is a really good match, as our startups need partners to be able to grow internationally, and typically they don't have funding or power enough to reach full commercial stage. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. So next speaker is Ms. Babette.
Yes, thank you. I am Babette. I'm an industrial design student at the TU Delft in the Netherlands, but this year I'm also the team manager of Emergence Delft. And at Emergence Delft, we believe innovation should not only be designed from the top down, but also from the bottom up with the rest of society and also the users. So let me tell you a bit more about what Emergence is first. You can go to the next slide. Emergence Delft is a student team. You can compare it to a startup that is stayed in the TU Delft in the Netherlands. And what we do is general student teams, they take on a full year off of their own studies and they work on real life problems. So they develop technologies from hyperloops to boats that race on hydrogen. But at Emergence, we don't really develop these innovations, but we engage with them directly and bring them to the public, because we think it's important that the whole society can ask questions about these technologies, not after they've shaped their lives, but while they still have the chance to question them. So that's why we work together in a big team. They're also here. You can see them here. And we're super honored to be here today because we think it's super important to discuss these kind of topics like with other countries. And what we do, how we bring these technologies to the rest of society, we make art installations. And we make art installations because then everybody, regardless of any background, can form their own opinion and ask questions about these technologies. And we make these art installations with various different people. So we have art students, but also the physics students and nanobiology. You can see the chart. It's all of different studies, also from different universities. And you can go to the next slide. These are some examples of our events that we have had this year. And we think it's important to discuss these technologies with other people. This way, these innovation ecosystems become more open and more inclusive to the rest of society. And this way, the responsibility not only lies with the developers of these technologies, but also with the users. So that's why we think it's important to have these discussions. And we will also exhibit one of our works at the World Expo, where we also have panel discussions to discuss this more further. Thank you so much.
Thank you for all panelists. Very informative presentation, everyone. And I'm sorry for that the lack of the managing the times. We are running out of the time. So before closing, I'd like to ask for everybody and very easy question to jump to the goal. Each of the presenter has their own innovation ecosystem. And is this open to the global? This is my questions. So is this your innovation ecosystem to the global? The answer is?
First, okay.
Yes?
Yes, thank you. A good question. So, of course, we are looking for to be global. Okay. And I think as for the digital food platform, we should have some mechanism or standardization of our IP to protect our platform before we enter into the global.
Okay, thank you. So everybody agree? If you agree that we like to move on to the next questions from the Professor Kondo.
So we are running out of time, but I'd like to ask you just one word question. In which areas of industry or society should we try to invest your capability to try to create a new ecosystem? Because ecosystem is about the future. We're not just talking about present or incumbent industry, but we're trying to create a new industry. So it's not just like a car industry anymore, it's a mobility industry now. So in your perspective, what would you say in this area we should invest and collaborate this inter-ecosystem collaboration? Please. Yeah, anyone? Yes. Just one word question, answers.
Okay, so global innovation is the most efficient and also has the biggest potential to solve our global challenges. And I think the biggest we have today are related to sustainability, to saving the planet, and also health in general. So I think those are the fields that we should invest in sustainability and healthcare, basically. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's do it. Next, please. Anyone?
Also from Switzerland, Switzerland is also put emphasis on the new type of energy, sustainable energy. Also, famous company is doing direct capturing of CO2 from the air, put it in the earth. That company is very famous. So we are very focused on energy and net zero society. And also, as I mentioned, of course, we put the focusing on next generation mobility, space tech, and aviation. So of course, world's famous life science is also very big focus for us. So we are doing many type of the new emerging technologies right now.
Thank you. Next, please. Hatsumi-san, please.
Okay, yeah, I completely agree with all the panelists. Sustainability, energy, and well-being are quite important. And in addition to that, Finland invests a lot to digitalization to enable and accelerate these kind of big goals.
Thank you. Netherlands? Oh.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I agree with all three of the previous speakers, but I also think we also should invest in inclusivity so that all of the people, that we don't just design for the people, but also with the people. So I think they also have really interesting perspectives and could add a lot to the innovation as well.
But how about the creative industry? You're from design.
Yes.
Creative industry, are you interested in making a collaboration? Creative?
Yeah, definitely. And I think the most things I learned this year is of my collaboration with different students. So with super technical students, but also art students, because when you really have the meaningful discussions, you can really create something that's super innovative and super meaningful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Kimura-sensei, please conclude.
Yeah, I think the investment is very important. And as I mentioned, when we want to establish a new business area, for each company, it is very difficult to invest for the new area. That's why I understand that academia should have a very important role to initiate new business opportunities for many of industries or companies. That is my idea.
Thank you very much. Oshima-sensei, please conclude.
So thank you for your panelists and audiences. I think this kind of the innovation ecosystem, the academia can contribute to many of the aspects as well as all participants in the society. So we like to move on to the next innovation ecosystem as well as your participants. So thank you for all the participants. Thank you very much.
大島先生、そしてスピーカーの皆様、誠にありがとうございました。Thank you very much for Thank you very much, Dr. Oshima and all speakers. Would you please give them a warm round of applause? それでは大きな拍手をお送りくださいませ。